If you're learning English, you might be wondering how to improve your pronunciation. It's one of the most important things to focus on because it helps people understand you better when you speak. I used to worry about my pronunciation a lot, and I know many learners do. But the good news is, with the right practice, you can get better at it. And if you stick with me until the end of this video, I'll share some easy and effective tips that will help you speak more clearly and confidently. When I first started learning English, I found pronunciation to be really hard. English words don't always sound the way they are written. For example, words like though and thought can be tricky. And then, there's the stress on syllables. Sometimes it's hard to know which part of the word to emphasize. But after a lot of practice, I realized something important. Improving pronunciation takes time, but it's not as hard as you might think. Let's start with the basics. The first thing you need to know is that pronunciation is about practice. Just like any other skill, the more you practice, the better you'll get. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. When I started, I made a lot of mistakes, but each mistake helped me improve. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with the sounds of English. Here's a simple trick that helped me improve my pronunciation quickly. Listen to native speakers. You can do this by watching English movies, listening to podcasts, or even following YouTube channels in English. Pay attention to how the speakers pronounce words. Try to repeat after them. You can pause the video, listen carefully, and then say the word or sentence out loud. This is called shadowing. It helped me improve a lot because I could hear how native speakers say the words and then try to say them in the same way. Now, let's talk about something that many learners miss: the sounds of English. English has some sounds that may not exist in your language, and this can make it difficult to pronounce certain words. For example, the th sound in words like think or this can be tricky for many learners. The best way to master these sounds is to practice. Start by listening to the sound, then try to say it slowly. Once you get the hang of it, practice saying it faster. Another sound that learners often struggle with is the vowel sounds in English. English has many vowel sounds, and they can change depending on the word. For example, the vowel sound in cat is different from the vowel sound in cake. To improve, it's helpful to listen to how these vowel sounds are used in words. Try repeating them out loud and pay attention to how your mouth moves. Over time, your brain will get used to making these sounds correctly. One thing that helped me was recording myself. It can be a little awkward at first, but it's really helpful. When you record yourself speaking, you can listen to how you sound. This will help you notice mistakes you might not hear while speaking. I remember when I first recorded myself, I realized I wasn't saying some words correctly. It felt strange, but it was a big step in getting better. So, grab your phone or a recording device and practice speaking. Then listen to it and try to improve. Another way to improve your pronunciation is to focus on stress and intonation. In English, we don't just pronounce words. We also have to pay attention to which part of the word or sentence we emphasize. For example, in the word record, the stress is on the first syllable, RE chord, when it's used as a noun, and on the second syllable, record, when it's used as a verb. By stressing the right syllables, you can make your English sound more natural. To practice this, I suggest listening to short English sentences and paying attention to where the stress is. Then, try repeating the sentence, copying the stress pattern. Over time, this will help you sound more like a native speaker. It's important to remember that stress and intonation can change the meaning of a sentence. For example, I don't like it can sound like a statement, but if you stress the word like, it can sound like a question. So, it's important to pay attention to this when practicing. One of the most important things you can do is speak as much as possible. I know it can feel scary, but the more you practice speaking, the better your pronunciation will get. You don't need to speak perfectly right away, but just try to speak as much as you can. This will help you get used to hearing the sounds of English and making them yourself. A great way to practice speaking is by having conversations with others. You can find language partners or join online groups where people are learning English. Speaking with others is a fun way to practice and improve your pronunciation. You can also practice with friends or family who speak English. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, just keep talking. The more you speak, the better you will become. As I was saying, be patient with yourself. Improving your pronunciation takes time, but it is possible. You won't be perfect immediately, and that's perfectly fine. The most important thing is to keep practicing. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel to speak in English. You may not notice it right away, but after weeks of practice, you will see small changes. Maybe one day you'll say a word, and it will sound just like the way a native speaker says it. That's when you know you're getting better. Remember, it's a journey, and every day of practice gets you one step closer to your goal. And it's also important to know that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. If you listen closely to native speakers, you'll hear them make mistakes too, or sometimes say words in different ways. It's part of being human. So don't be too hard on yourself. Every mistake you make is just one more opportunity to learn. Now, let's talk about how you can make pronunciation practice part of your daily routine. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. In fact, even just 10 to 15 minutes every day can help you improve your pronunciation faster than you think. It's all about consistency. If you practice a little every day, you will start to see results. For example, you can start your day by listening to a podcast in English while you have breakfast or commute to work. You can repeat sentences from the podcast to practice how words are pronounced. Then, before you go to bed, you can record yourself saying a few sentences. Over time, you'll hear yourself improving. Another way to practice is by reading out loud. Take a short story or a page from a book and read it out loud. This will help you with your pronunciation, as well as improve your fluency and reading skills. You can even record yourself while reading and compare it with a native speaker. It's a great way to see how much you've improved. Another thing you can try is to shadow native speakers. As I mentioned earlier, this is when you listen to someone speaking and try to say the same thing at the same time. It helps you practice the rhythm, stress, and pronunciation of words. You can find videos online of people speaking clearly and practice by repeating what they say. You don't have to do this for hours. Just 10 minutes a day is enough. Over time, you will start to speak with more confidence and sound more natural when you talk. Shadowing can also help you understand the flow of English, which is important for sounding like a native speaker. Another idea is to watch videos that focus on pronunciation practice. There are many YouTube channels or apps that teach you how to pronounce difficult words or sounds. They break down the pronunciation step by step, and they show you how to move your mouth and tongue to make the sounds correctly. These tools are really helpful for improving your pronunciation. One thing that helped me a lot was paying attention to the mouth movements of native speakers. When I watched videos, I would focus on how their mouths moved as they spoke. This helped me understand how to produce certain sounds correctly. English sounds can be different from the sounds in your language, so it's important to see how to make those sounds physically. Watching videos and practicing with them can be very effective. If you want to go a little deeper, you can also learn about IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. It might sound complicated, but it can help you understand how to pronounce words. Many dictionaries use IPA symbols to show you exactly how a word should sound. Learning the basics of IPA can help you pronounce words correctly, even if you've never heard them before. But don't worry, you don't need to learn everything at once. Just start by focusing on the sounds that are difficult for you and practice those first. Once you feel more confident with those, you can move on to other sounds. Another great way to improve your pronunciation is to listen and repeat. If you hear a new word or a new phrase, repeat it immediately. The more you repeat, the easier it becomes to say it correctly. Don't just listen and forget. Try to say it right away. This is a simple but powerful method for improving your pronunciation. You might also find it helpful to slow down when you speak. I know it can be tempting to speak quickly, especially if you're nervous or excited, but when you speak too fast, your pronunciation can become unclear. Speaking slowly and clearly gives you time to focus on how you're pronouncing each word. As you become more confident, you can gradually increase your speed, but start slow and focus on saying each word clearly. So, guys, it's easy as hell, but needs practice. Okay, it can be hard at first. But over time, I swear you'll notice that you're being better and better. Just keep practice, buddy. It's totally up to you. Anyway, it's enough for today. If you like this video, you can click on like button and subscribe.